Okay, I've been pleating things, even in small ways. This is a small way. It's a cover with a pleat in it to make a closure. This little book is sewn in. It could be just a folder, but this one, the little book isn't sewn in yet, but it will be. And there's a space here, and I'm going to talk about why that space is there. It's actually just because of the size of the paper I started with. So, here it goes. So I'm starting off with, I'm making this all out of regular 8.5 by 11 because I think it's useful to do that, regular copy paper. I've divided the paper into 4 parts and then cut it so that I have this little book. These are only 4 pages. 6 pages or maybe even 8 is fine. And here's another piece of paper, about the same size. And I showed this to a bunch of people yesterday. They seemed to find that making this grid was helpful. What I did, and I recommend doing this, is I just took a piece of paper and marked it 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, and 3 inches, top and bottom. Connected the lines with the ruler, and you have this grid. I also made a line across there, and the easiest way probably to do that is to just curl this up, line it up, and make the line. Okay, so starting with the grid. First thing what I'm going to do is show you how the pleats are. The pleats are basically an accordion. It looks like if I go up a little higher it might be better. There we go. It's basically an accordion. And what I'm going to do though, it's not an even accordion. I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch. This is just to get rid of the raw edge. 1/2 inch, 3/8, quarter, they'd probably be okay. All be okay. But I'm going to use my line up on the edge here, so make sure it's nice and even. And score at a 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to move over 1.5 inches, which will bring me to this next line. And then bring it over 1 inch. Basically, the thought is that this next one is smaller than this distance, is smaller than this distance. Okay, I can now fold this. I'm going to fold this accordion fashion. So here I went valley fold, and then mountain fold, and then valley fold. This part is going to be glued down, but look, there's your pleat. And there's and that's the pleat that's going to make the closure. Okay? So it looks like I didn't fold it very well on that line. Is that better now? Yes, that's better now. Okay, there's my pleat. Now it looks good. Okay, so next I'm going to open it up, and I've got my little book that this is going to be basically designed around. So I'm not going to be too, well actually, yeah, that's how I showed it to a group. I just found the middle. I'm not making a fold, I'm just marking the middle. Okay, so here's my middle right there and right here. And I'm going to curl down right to that middle mark. Hard to see, but I can see it. Okay, the pleat is not in there, it's just folded out. And now I want to make this fold, bring it up, so that this cover is a little bit longer than my book. So it'll be right here. And I'm going to measure that. I'm going to make sure I'm good. I'm taking this other piece of paper, just making a mark, and then making a mark up here. connecting those spots I just marked with my ruler. And you'll see it won't meet exactly in the middle because my paper is only so wide. If you want this to disappear, you need to start with a piece of wider paper than copy paper. Okay, so there we go. Now my pleat folds are still in there, so I just work them. 1, 2, and I want to get rid of this part, so I'm going to glue that down. Okay, like I said, that part was just to get rid of a raw edge. And it's a little bit thick, not much, so right where it folds, I'm going to cut away a little bit of, just a little bit of thickness. There we go. And now I'm going to just glue that. Got some scrap paper nearby. A nice flat brush, some PVA, but I could do this with a glue stick as well. Depending how thick my paper is and what kind of mood I'm in, I might get rid of some of these tabs, like the top and the bottom, but I'm not doing that now. Get rid of my scrap paper. And then remake my pleat. Paper's open when I remake the pleat, and I fold it down, and now my pleat is, here is locked in. Okay? So I need my little book again. And because I'm going to make a little spine right here, and I like these little spines. I think it's nice when it has this spine on it. It's when you put it in a bookshelf, then it doesn't completely disappear, and also it gives you this opportunity to put a few little beads on it if you want to. Okay, so I need to make a mark right here next to the book and probably 1/4 of an inch away. And I still have my template here that has a 1/4 inch marking. Line it up to that line, and we've got here and down here. That's kind of hard to see, but you can see, I hope, the paper behind it. And make a fold. Move it over 1/4 of an inch. Make another fold. There we go. Here's my little spine. That's good. We're almost done. And this paper makes it a little bit hard to see, but right there, right. Almost done. I want to make this piece be able to slide into this pleat. First thing I'm going to do, and I didn't show this to the group yesterday very well that I showed this to, but you want this to curl. So look what I'm doing with my bone fold. I'm sort of like doing this kind of thing to make it curl better. This is a nice little technique. So when I go to curl it in, it'll be fine. Now, I can feel here, there's a thickness. This is where the pleat ends. And here I'm marking it like with my fingernail so it can be seen. But I don't want to do that on every book that I do. But I know it's about here. So that's about, I can tell, I'm going to say that this pleat here is too big by, let's see, about this much. I'm not going to just cut this off. I could just cut it off, but I'm not going to, because there's something else I want to do. I'm just going to, what I am going to cut off is I'm going to cut off this top layer. You see? I cut off this. I'll cut off over here just the same amount. Okay? Okay, that should be a good amount. And what I'll do now is I want to make this a little thinner right here so it's easier to fit into the pleat. I'm pushing this middle part in. This is sort of optional, so if this is confusing to you, don't worry about it. But you see, I'm pushing that middle part in, and then bringing it back. And now we have that nice little bevel. And we still have this little piece to deal with, so I'm just going to turn it in. I'm going to glue that down. And I like that because I don't have a raw edge there. And I'm going to check it out. I'm thinking that it might be a little too big still. Let's see. Nope, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. So, I'm going to take my glue again. I'm using straight PVA. You can use a glue stick, double-sided tape. You don't have to glue it at all if you don't want to. Do not use rubber cement. There we go. Okay. I've got my little book that's going to slide inside. I'll do something else with it. I'll glue it in. I'll probably put some beads on the edges here. Let's see. Yeah, that looks nice. There we go. Okay. And chances are I'm going to put this and a couple more on my Etsy site. Just because I've been making so many of them, I might as well put them on my Etsy site. Okay. Hope you enjoy it.